Hi everyone, and welcome to the world of harp. Today we're going to be discussing when practice doesn't go quite as planned. The other day, after we had performed Ravel's Bolero, my poor bass wires were completely worn out, and unfortunately, during my practice the next morning, one of them busted. Sadly, I didn't have another set on hand, which set me back several days in my practice time. That being said, it's always good to keep the extra strings that you need on hand. But, while that was disappointing, this gives us a great opportunity to discuss how to replace your bass wires. So, let's get started! The obvious first step when replacing bass wires is to remove the old ones. When doing this, what you want to be cautious of is that the string ends don't come loose and flap around, scraping the woodwork on your harp, so you want to be a little careful here. First, rotate the tuning pin until you've loosened the string completely and the hole where the string goes through is facing directly up and down. Next, hold the string firmly in your left hand and remember that we want to avoid the string ends scratching the harp, so pull outward firmly. Now what we want to do is remove the string from the soundboard of the harp. Hold onto it with your left hand, and with your right hand, use a pair of wire cutters to cut it close to the soundboard. Next, reach inside the body of the harp, grab the string end, and pull it through. I'm going to be replacing all of my bass wires today, so I'll go ahead and repeat the previous two steps with all of my strings. Now these last few strings are a little more difficult to get out, so I'm having to use a pair of pliers. Also, one thing to mention here, while we've talked a lot about not scratching the finish on your harp, also be a little careful with your fingers. I've already cut myself a couple of times with these string ends, so just watch out. You may even want to wear a pair of gloves. Alright, as you can see, I've removed all of the old bass wires from the harp, and I've taken my own advice and put on a pair of gloves. Now we're ready to start putting the new bass wires on the harp. Okay, so we've got our new strings. You're going to unwrap your string, being a little careful here because they're pretty springy when you first unwrap them. Now take the top of your string and feed it through the back of the body of the harp and up through the soundboard. With one hand on this side and the other on the back, feed the string completely through until it comes taut against the soundboard. Okay, now bring the string end up and insert it through the tuning peg, pulling it all the way tight. Now, unlike the gut or nylon strings on your harp, your wire strings are not going to stretch. So, we do need to put some slack in the string in order to make sure we get at least 2 windings around the tuning pin. In order to make sure that you give yourself enough slack in the string, slide your fingers up on the string an inch for each time you want it to wrap around the tuning pin. So, since we want it to go around twice, slide up 1, 2 inches. Then, push the string down through the tuning pin until it meets up with your fingers. Okay, now we're ready to tighten up the string. Alrighty, I've got all of the strings on the harp now, so all that's left to do is to trim the ends of the strings and then tune them up to pitch. Simply take your wire cutters, place them as close to the tuning pin as possible, and snip the string while holding on to the other end with your left hand. So there you have it. Now you know how to replace your own bass wire strings with just a pair of pliers, your tuning key, gloves, extra strings, and of course, your harp. So now it's time for you to go and try it yourself. Have fun! Hi everyone, thank you so much for watching and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like it and subscribe to my channel. Also, comment below about anything you'd like to learn about the harp. Maybe your topic will be the subject of my next video. Until then, happy harp adventures!